And welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. I'm standing alongside Parker Cook, who you're a former ski racer. Well, actually, pro skier is a better way of saying it.
And not racer.
Not so much racing.
Extreme skiing is, I guess, the term we like to use.
My favorite kind. So,
yeah, right.
So tell me a little bit about your career.
Well, I started. I grew up in Salt Lake City. I've worked for my dad's construction company for a number of years, and grew up skiing. And through that, I developed a knack for building things. So I kind of decided I wanted to go into furniture making after skiing, so
That's
kind of
awesome.
a plan B.
So how long did you, well, you're still skiing, right? You're still doing some pro skiing.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
How long have you been doing that?
I've been pro for about 7 years. So this year being my best year with 7 magazines, 11 published shots. So
wow.
Yeah, it was a good year. And we'll be heading down to Chile for a number of weeks coming up in July. So things are good for that, you know. So this is kind of like this feeds the skiing kind of thing.
No doubt, right?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of, I'm a skier, of course,
right.
And I love shooting extreme skiing, which I do quite a little bit of.
Perfect place for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no better place to take some pictures of somebody doing some extreme skiing than Utah.
Cool.
You have a favorite place to go?
I'd have to say Alta Snowbird. I love Park City though as well. Anywhere that's got the snow. Solitude, everywhere in Salt Lake. Utah is perfect, you know. I
always think there's like a different time for both, you know. It seems like, you know, if you get some of the really early snow here, it's just ridiculous. You get some of the late snow out there, Alta and the other canyons, it's awesome. Right. I like to spread it out. You know?
Definitely. I mean, when we've got people, family, friends coming to town, we like to take them to Park City, but for like, you know, the Powder Hound type days where you're just kind of solo or whatever, it's Alta and Snowbird.
And so you're fully sponsored and everything now, right?
Yeah, I ride for a number of local companies. Blue House Skis, they started making skis in Salt Lake, and actually their shop is right down the street from my shop, and they share a warehouse space with Discreet, who I also ride for, and have been a part of Discreet since they started. Julian Carr and me are really good friends, and so there's a lot of local talent in this little community of Salt Lake.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, some good networking for you if you're right down the street from them, right?
Oh yeah, it's easy. And they, you know, and I do their trade show booths, and you know, I've built the ski presses for Blue House, so I'm kind of do industrial stuff as well as.
That's awesome.
This is my favorite kind, though. I really like, you know, the furniture aspect, the design, making people happy with like furniture.
The way they live, yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about this piece right here.
So right here, this is all, I mainly focus on iron. I like a lot of the raw look.
Yeah, I love the iron.
So
and you haven't done much to it, I mean,
not really. I use just like kind of a clear coat. I've experimented with lacquers and urethanes and stuff, and I find that kind of takes away from the raw, which I really like. So it's a very industrial, kind of masculine look to my stuff. So
yeah, I mean, screw heads.
Yeah, you know, I kind of copied like hardwood floor pattern for this. So it's metal to make it look wood. Right. And this is great for just, you know, an outside cocktail table, for serving, a console table behind a couch. You know, for someone who has a lot of like cramped apartment, this table's perfect. You can set up 2 plates.
Nice sideboard kind of feel.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I do a lot of like planter boxes and candles, you know, holder style stuff that people like to, you know, you can do a number of things with.
It's very industrial.
It's very industrial.
Yeah, this is going to hang on for, it's going to be around long after we're gone, isn't it?
Totally.
I mean, so yeah, you kind of got an iron heirloom kind of feel to it, right?
Yeah. Well, that's where I grew up doing it, you know, like out of the construction world or my dad's company, and it kind of just went hand in hand. I was actually in a furniture shop when it all started, and a woman was looking at a piece, and it was a round table, and it was too big for her, and she wanted it 2 inches smaller. And you know, the salesperson walked away, and I tapped her on the shoulder, and I said, "Hey, I'll do that right now," you know, and for half price. And then the ball just kept rolling, and you know, I really enjoy it, so it's cool.
Well, it's you know, it's like I said, very solid. It's definitely going to last. And do you do your own welding?
Yep. I do my own welding, everything in my own shop. So
wow. Yeah. So you're in there bending and
all this stuff. You know, and I buy local, and it's made local, and you know, I think people are starting to appreciate that more. You know, and that's something that I'm really proud of, is that, you know, everything is bought locally, and I put it together, and then you know, I sell it locally, and that's where I'm at right now. So,
well, let's take a look at this piece too, because this is really cool as well.
This was actually a piece. I got a job to outfit an office space for a friend of mine, Ryan Taylor, who's just a brilliant designer, and he has a spot downtown, and he's like, "Hey, come in and can you build me a desk here? Can you build me a conference table there?" And you know, all this stuff. So I said, hey, I'll give it a shot, and it ended up being one of my favorite pieces. Super sleek, super clean.
Yeah, very simple. I mean,
that's what I'm looking for.
You know, we're not talking a drawer or anything here. We're talking, your computer and keep your writing utensil on top of the table.
Yeah, it works.
Keep it simple.
From what I hear, the office is pretty happy with it too. So
I bet.
Makes me happy.
Well, I think anytime you've got, I think a cluttered office is a cluttered mind, right? And I think it's hard to work. And when you've got a place that doesn't allow you to clutter. Because this really doesn't. I mean, if you start putting stuff on the table here, you're gonna have a hard time. It's gonna be real quick.
The more storage, the more you just end up putting stuff in it.
Exactly. We're in a world that's almost paperless, and we need to kind of try to stay there because it's good for the environment. And if you can try to keep yourself from having all of that, that's a good thing.
Definitely.
Cancel all those all that junk mail. Get on that list to get rid of that junk
Please
mail.
do. That's ridiculous.
It's a huge part of what you end up. Most people, that's the first thing they do. They go out to the mailbox, they grab the junk mail, and they throw it on their desk. Like, really? I hate that.
Definitely. He sent me a couple pictures of the lady that was working, just candid shots of her working because he's so happy with it. And he's like, look, she's loving it. And that's really cool. I love seeing that.
I think it's just tremendous.
Cool.
So, so like I said, a lot of natural stuff here. I mean,
very raw. I mean, very industrial, raw. I don't want to get away from that. I don't like plastics. I don't want to get into, I don't want to knock anybody, but nothing to do with IKEA. My stuff's here. It's built well. It's raw.
Well, I mean, IKEA's got, they got their place. It's simple and it's clean too, but it is melamine and screws. And as much as that's fun to put together, it's really exciting putting it together. The challenge that you have after you do it is that you got to keep it together, and it doesn't last that long. This is going to be stuff that lasts. So I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm guessing that some of this comes from both sides of your life, the skiing side and your industrial side.
Well, it's funny, imagine that a skier ends up using his hands.
There you go.
I just am hands-on. I work in the office for the construction company that I work for, and I just can't wait to hit 5 o'clock, and I just go right to welding and building and cutting and putting things together.
Awesome.
So,
well, we're going to break away for a commercial, and when we come back in just a little bit, we'll come back and show some of your stuff for outside, which we're pretty excited about as well. So we'll be back in a while. More of the Mountain Morning Show, just a minute or two. We'll see you in just a little bit. Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. We're outside. It's me and Parker Cook, and we're sitting in front of a really nice table here.
Yeah.
This is really slick. The surface of this is just spectacular. Unfortunately, you probably can't see the colors on TV, but there's a lot of some reds and even a little bit of almost a black and blue in here.
Yeah, it's definitely the natural rawness of this iron that I've salvaged. Actually, this was just a piece sitting in a lot in a local shop for over a few years, and I just noticed it and I said, hey, I can fix that up. I can make that look good. And this is one of my first pieces I've ever made, and I just love it. It's a great piece. It's perfect for an outside patio kind of cocktail zone, and it's got nice little storage down here for storing plates.
Yeah, I love this mesh.
It actually works really well as a console table behind like a sofa as well.
Right. Well, I think you said something that really strikes me, is the idea of that you found this piece and you knew what it needed to be. It's sort of like carving. People who carve, they carve away the stuff that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And you have this other idea that's just, I know that this thing wants to be a table.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and you said like the reds, and that's some natural rusting that, with a clear coat and the right lacquer finish, it can preserve that coloring and look good. And where most people would see rust as a bad thing, I see it as sort of a naturally occurring, very cool thing. Like this, there's a gouge in it here, and it's just an original piece. There'll never be another piece like this.
Well, the legs are really special too, and you were telling me on the break that you end up salvaging stuff from the strangest places.
Yeah,
high school, you said.
Yes, I work for a construction company, like I was saying, and when we demo a place or we go to some old schools, I'll just find things like the old rebar, 100-year-old rebar, or we worked on a community college, and there were like a dozen mirrors. So I took all those mirrors and I framed them and made them nice, and I've sold them to restaurants throughout the valley.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of your pieces over here too, because you talked about planter boxes, but you've got all kinds of stuff here. So
these are really cool. These are like my garden. They're kind of a yard ornament. I make them in a bigger size, and there's kind of either a centerpiece. Yeah, right. Yeah,
it's really not very heavy at all.
Yeah, it's like Atlas over here.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, for like a dead space in a corner of a yard, they kind of fill in. They're decorative. They're art, really, you know. And I really like them. They're super cool.
The bending and putting it together is got to be the biggest challenge in my opinion.
Definitely. I mean, you've got to have the right measurements for them. You know, it'll look weird if it's not on. Also, the planter boxes here, wood and iron, some boxwoods in there to show you how good it can look. And a lot of people are big fans of those boxes. You can do anything you want them. Candles, anything, you can suspend them. People do that off their patio decks, and those seem to be a pretty big hit right there.
Yeah, those are awesome. A lot of nice natural stuff there. You know, wood and iron. I just love the mixture of the outdoors and the kind of industrial feel.
It's definitely my background. You know, I'm an outdoor type person, so wood, iron, and stone. I don't think I could get too far from it.
You play rock, scissors, paper different than the rest of us.
Yeah, right.
All right, Parker. Well, I sure appreciate you being on the show.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it as well.
Absolutely. Looking forward to next ski season.
Yeah,
so we can go on the mountain as well.
Totally. So it's pcookdesign.com.
And the website?
Yeah, that's the website. I'm sorry, pcookdesign.com. Right, and we're working on it, and you can order, you can come visit me at the shop.
Yeah, where's the shop?
It's on 6th West and 2290 South in downtown Salt Lake. Awesome. So I've got a little unit full of everything. Come down, check it out.
Glad you remembered the website. Yeah, that's good. All right, well, we'll be back with more of the Mountain Morning Show in just a minute or two, and we'll be wrapping things up here shortly.
All right, thanks.